Hi, TDF fans.
Hi, friends.
What's up, everybody? My name is McKenzie Kurtz, and I'm currently playing Cassandra in The Heart of Rock and Roll on Broadway over at the James Earl Jones.
Yeah. I'm Tamika Lawrence. I play Roz in The Heart of Rock and Roll, currently playing on Broadway, like she said.
Yeah. And I am a 5'4", blonde, white girl, pretty small and crazy.
And I am a 5'5" Black girl, not small. I would say I'm round and fun. I have on a wig today because my hair is generally short, but I have on a long wig today, and I have a gap that I'm proud of.
And she looks beautiful.
So do you.
Thanks, babe. Well, I'm excited to do this. This is going to be a good time.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. We'll answer some questions, and here we go. So, Tamika, in The Heart of Rock and Roll, multiple characters are torn between their day jobs and their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your most memorable day jobs before you made it to Broadway.
The most memorable, well, I've had a couple. So my first one was my only food service job. And that's when I was 17 to 18, I worked at Cold Stone Creamery. And I
welcome to Cold Stone.
Yeah.
Do you have to yell that?
Yeah, welcome to Cold. Yeah. And while you're, and it's hard labor. It's manual labor because you think that the ice cream is soft. It's not.
No.
So I had thick wrists. It actually looked crazy. I had the rest of me when I was in high school was pretty lanky, and then my wrists were like Thor.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then I made the mistake of telling them that I could sing, and there you have to, if somebody tips, you sing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they would tell the customer she can sing, and so people would just keep putting money in the thing. So I'm I still have to make the ice cream, right? So I'm I'm
crying.
We riding on the freeway of love, and it's psychotic.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Well, that's funny. I worked in a bakery
Oh.
for one summer. So
Okay.
food industry, making the little pastries.
That's so cool.
But I couldn't. So the counters were so tall that I couldn't see over. So they got me a little stool.
Were you welcome to?
Yes, I was welcome to Alpine Bakery. How may I help you? And they're like, who? What? That was one of the jobs I had. I also was I cleaned pools for a while.
That's dope.
Yeah, a summer job.
Yeah.
And I loved doing that because I just go listen to music and clean the pool. It was kind of relaxing and therapeutic in a weird way.
Yeah, I would think that's meditative.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another job that I had, it's my favorite college job, and it's super random, but I built computer boards for planes and for satellites and stuff like that.
Hello.
And that was really weird. I stumbled upon that job because I had a friend who got his certification through school to do it, and he was like, we need someone to work in the stock room. So the first summer I just worked in the stock room, putting the parts together to give to the techs. And then the next year they were really short on technicians. So they gave me a breeze through certification.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's so cool that you know how to do that.
Yeah. So now
I would be scared, I think, to
it was
mess
scary.
up something.
It was scary. There were certain projects we got government boards that were some of those boards were solid gold, because gold is a really good conductor of
Ooh.
Heat and electricity or whatever, but you couldn't put your fingers on them. Your finger, your actual finger, you have to have gloves, because if any fingerprints got on the gold boards and went through a heat machine, they weren't good anymore.
Whoa.
And these were thousands of dollars. So you're holding this board.
Oh, I'd be terrified. I'd be terrified to do that.
Time.
That's so cool though. How specific.
It was special. I was if theater doesn't work out, at least I can go solder some boards.
Solder some boards. Okay, we have another question here.
Okay, I'll read it.
Okay.
The heart of rock and roll is powered by the songs of Huey Lewis and the News. Do people ever sing along, and have there been any entertaining audience interactions?
Oh, yeah. People, I mean, I see people all the time. By the
Yeah.
end, everyone's
Yeah.
grooving. There's so
Yeah.
many people, and it makes me so happy to see that. It's like the best feeling when someone's so in it, and you can clearly tell they're having an amazing time and they're enjoying themselves and they love the music of Huey.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, people are definitely rocking out with us, I feel like, by the end. And some of the heartwarming moments too, I feel like Billy was talking about it this morning, how there are some really beautiful moments, like in John's song "Doing It All for My Baby," where I see some dads and daughters, and they're like, they hug each other a little, like, you know, arms go around people, and that's really cool to see too, how people respond to this music. And yeah, it's nice. What about you?
Yeah, especially in that song, I can hear people audibly like gasp or go, oh, and it's not one of those like, we're trying to make you feel something, you know, feel happy or whatever. People are really moved.
Totally.
I also love, like, Power of Love is the only time that I can really like look out into we all can really like look out into the audience. And I just remember there was this one time, I don't know if this woman was like on psychedelics, and so she was like really feeling the joy, but she was just having this whole out of body experience. You know, most people are like, you know, yeah, this is great, and they feel good. And this woman was like, I mean, like completely like out of her mind, just like having a moment. And I was like, that's cool. I hope she's okay. But it was like really cool. She was like really affected by, I think,
the power of love.
I was like, yeah, she's feeling it.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Good. That's sick.
Yeah.
Love that for that lady.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Love it.
For her. Okay. Your choreographer, Lauren Lataro, has come up with some wonderfully intricate dance numbers, including on an assembly line. Have there ever been any amusing on-stage mishaps? Yes, of course. If you haven't seen the show, there's one moment in particular. I have to say it. I mean, I don't want to I have to say it. Basically, there's this amazing dream sequence that happens in Act 2 where we kind of see Cassandra's what she thought, what she wanted her life to be, and have this like happy marriage, kind of picture perfect. It's like a little bit of a 50s housewife like nightmare sequence that happens, and babies literally start to fall from the sky into her arms. And recently, it's only happened once. Watch, it's gonna happen tonight. The baby fell, as it always does, and I think it like caught some air and drifted. And Billy and I are supposed to catch it, and normally it's Billy that's really like catching it because I'm terrified. It hit the ground like so hard. Baby smacks the ground, and everyone on stage, we heard like an audible horrified, and then the worst part is there's also a sound effect like a cry, and so it was like I was struggling to keep it together after that. That was one of the funniest things I think I've ever witnessed on stage, and everyone like went along with it, and it worked because we all were horrified, and you know, we would be if babies were falling from the sky and hitting the ground face first.
Yeah, from our angle, so we're watching backstage because that's like I think for myself and like a lot of the crew, it's our favorite moment of the show, and so we watch it every day from backstage. And from our angle, it looked like the baby like Tokyo drifted and then hit Billy's shoulder. So it also looked like he shoulder checked the baby, and then it like went to the floor, and then there was this ooh. It was so bad.
So funny though. So funny. Freaking funny. I'm trying to think of other
when we were in tech. And Tommy has this like what's his name? Richard Simmons.
Yes.
He has like this, he does this homage to Richard Simmons, and he does this it's a workout section.
Yeah.
And he's doing this fabulous like back flip to front flip, and the wig was holding on for dear life that day, and he went to do a front flip, and that wig came clean off like front and back and was just like hanging on sideways. And he's like trying to commit because Tommy is like the utmost like professional. So he's trying to like he's in a full split and he's like, ta-da, and that wig was like, ta-da.
It was so funny. It was so funny. I'm trying to think. Oh, last night we had something that during the same dream sequence, there's this moment. There's a lot that happens, so there is a lot that could go wrong, you know? But there's supposed to be this flower that comes out of the ground, and last night your microphone came out of the ground. Or no, not your microphone. It's John's microphone for when he started.
Oh, no.
The microphone came out, and I was like, is that even the same? How did that happen? And we all were like,
what did Cece do?
They all just kind of like looked at it, and it came like halfway out, and then it was like, just kidding, went back into the ground. I love when stuff goes wrong. It's just funny. It's live theater, you know?
It keeps you on your toes too. It keeps everything like super fresh.
Yes.
And it's fun to try to like react to it and make sense of it without like fully breaking the whole show for everybody.
Oh yeah. And there's a lot of we're already laughing in this show just because of the show itself, but I think this cast is so silly and so fun, and like when something like that goes wrong, we all really just find enjoyment in it and like laughing with and at each other to whoever it happens to. So okay.
One critic dubbed your show the funniest new musical of the season. Yeah. What's it like performing in such a fun and uplifting show at this challenging time?
What do you think?
I think, man, it's been so restorative. I was saying this earlier today. I thought I had quit this business. And so this Heart of Rock and Roll was like the first audition that I had had in a minute. And I just kind of did it on a whim just because the character is HR. My mom has worked in HR she worked in HR for decades. And so I was like, oh, I feel like maybe I could, do something with this. And see. And also Brian Yusufer, I love him. And so it's been so restorative because everything's mad crazy. And it's nice to come into a place where everybody's nice, nobody's a douchebag at our job, and we've been around each other for almost like 6 months, and still everybody's really
Everyone
cool.
Gets along.
And it's really cool to like come into a place of business where everybody's wonderful, you have a good time, and then you're able to like extend joy to other people. And I think the coolest thing about it, because we have a lot of shows on Broadway right now in this season that are doing the work of like representing history in a way that's accessible to people, and making sure that we don't forget. And that's really important. And I think what's great about our show too, and a very important part of activism is joy in spite of what's happening, because you can't constantly, I don't think you can't constantly just be angry or be like, like we got to fight. You do have to fight. But you also need that mental space to relax and enjoy and have some sort of like release so that you can continue to do the work that needs to be done. And I feel like our show is that for people. Like we can give people that so that you can continue to get up and fight or live or breathe and exist another day.
You said that so beautifully. I agree with everything you said. And I want to say too, I just want to say like, sing your praises and say I'm so glad that you, like, I just can't believe that you were like, thinking of quitting the business, and now here you are, and I'm like, thank God. And you're one of the most amazing performers I've ever worked with. Seriously. It's truly like likewise, so talented. Like I'm in awe of her every single night. I watch you whenever I'm off stage, and listening to you is always a joy. And I just like could sing your praises all day long. So
she's great too. I mean, there's nobody like McKenzie. You're just incredible and so committed and dedicated to every scene, every moment. Because I feel like your character, there's a lot there to play in the lines, but there's also so much reactionary stuff. And you're generous to all of us other actors in terms of like giving reactions, being in the scene, but also the way that you maneuver playing Cassandra as a real person with all of her like, neuroticism and things and like, the kooky craziness. But like, I believe that she's a real human being.
Thank you.
Like a real special human.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Yeah, I paid her to say that.
Okay, if you could make your own jukebox musical, which retro band would you choose? Good question. You know what I've been listening to a lot lately that I was like, I love this music. The Carpenters.
Oh yeah.
I love all of their music,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Karen Carpenter I think is she's one of the greats, and I think that could make a really beautiful musical.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many answers to this, but that's just what popped into my head first.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I was pissed off when Bad Cinderella came because one of my favorite 80s hair bands is Cinderella. And I had an idea. I was like, it would be cool if the music from Cinderella and like White Snake was turned into Bad Cinderella.
Whoa.
And then all of a sudden there was Bad Cinderella. And I was like, dang, man, I got to be more careful. This is not the way I envisioned it. I mean, it was great, but
oh my God.
But yeah.
Whoa, what an idea.
Right.
That's sick.
I think that would be cool if there was ever like a remounting, or maybe it just dies with my thoughts.
No. We got to do something with that. We got to get on that. We're going to get on that.
And also, I love the music of Heart.
Oh,
and I just think like, it's so badass that those sisters, like, they went through so much, especially like with misogyny and everything. They were so ahead of their time, and like they broke up and like they've gotten back together. And I just think that their music needs a home on theater. It doesn't have to be like a bio musical, but just like and it's so epic. It lends itself to theater.
That's a good answer. I say that too.
Let's do it.
Heart. Okay. Ooh.
What 80s fashion trend do you want to see make a comeback?
Why are you giggling? I mean, listen. Shoulder pads are always cool, but I think those are kind of back. Like, I love a shoulder pad. The big blazers with the shoulder pads, and obviously, like, the big hair is so fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I want the Jerry curl to come back just because I think it's ridiculous. I love a mullet.
Yeah.
I love 80s hair trends. The fashion, like, yes.
There are some
shoulder pads are cool, blazers are cool, and they never really went out of style. They just kind of like morphed.
Yes.
But I'm all about 80s hair because I feel like the 80s was just a celebration of like makeup. Like it was, what is it? I almost says extremism. That's a different conversation. I mean, maximalist.
There we go.
Right?
There we go.
Back on topic. Maximalist in turn, like everything was, right? But like hair and makeup.
And the active wear was chic.
Yeah.
And cute.
Yeah.
And the men's active wear.
Yeah.
Let's get into the short shorts, boys.
Right? Men need to get back, and like all those rock bands too, and like the black rock bands, like the Gap band and stuff, like everybody was wearing like leotards and sparkles and makeup.
That's the 80s glam, the 80s rock glam is sexy and cool.
Yeah.
And I think that should make more of a comeback too, like for like the going out scene.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like men today are a little too boring. Sorry. But like,
let's dress it up.
Yeah.
Add some glitter.
Yeah, be a little fierce.
Yeah.
I don't want to do all the work. You do it.
Ooh, your best Huey Lewis story. Go. He's so funny.
He is.
He's a hoot.
Yeah.
He is a hoot. Let me think. I mean, I had so much fun with him when we went to LA and I got to do Jimmy Kimmel. That was hilarious. And also just the fact that he's always around. He really is. And it's so sweet and how passionate he is just about supporting us as the cast. Like he's backstage all the time. And he's just so sweet, and he's just, and sometimes I'm like, no, this is like a rock icon, and we're just like legend. Chilling with him backstage, which is kind of cool. I don't even know if I have like one specific story, but just his whole being in essence is just kind of funny. Like just being around him.
It's crazy because like it's an interesting mix because, with celebrities or people who are legendary, usually there's like this invisible wall, right? That like nobody can penetrate. And it makes sense because there's so much that's being asked of legends.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's easy to sort of like build this guard, but it's cool to watch a man who has started his career kind of late, considering pop and rock music, have this like has this prolific catalog, and so he's very secure in himself, but also really accessible.
Totally.
And that's so rare. I've never seen that in someone like him before, in like the few, people that I've met. My favorite Huey story is it was previews, and it was after the show, and he was with a group of people, and they were walking to a pub, just him and his friends just walking to a pub down the way, and I happened to be walking that way too, and one of the people that was in his entourage was like, that show is great. It's awesome. You guys be ready for like awards. You guys are gonna get all these nominations. You guys are gonna do all these things. And Huey, who I didn't actually expect to like hear it, but he heard that and he turned around, and it was like the best advice. He was like, "Don't fall for it. It's a trap. Don't ever get caught up in that. It's not important.
Yeah.
If you do that, you'll always be disappointed. It's a trap." And I was like, wow, that's real. Deep. Yeah. Like I think everybody should hear that. It's not important.
No.
I mean, but it shouldn't be the most important thing.
100%. He's wise.
Yeah.
He knows,
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's really amazing. Okay. I don't remember who read the last question.
Okay.
Was it me or you?
I'll read it.
Okay, you read it.
You've both been doing theater since you were young. How have the performing arts enriched your lives? And what would you say to young folks about pursuing their artistic dreams?
Oh, I love this question. Gosh, I mean, my first show I ever did, I was, I think, 8 years old. Wow. And then right after that, I was like, I don't want to do anything else. This is 100% what I want to do. And I knew it. And it's so funny. I guess I just always knew it. I was talking about it the other day because my mom found my journal from when I was like 6. I don't know if you saw this, but I posted it on my Instagram because I was like, I had wrote, "I'm not meant for chores. I'm meant to perform." And like she knew it, and she knew it, and she really just like So it's changed my life in the way that like I am as a person, and it gave me so much confidence growing up. I feel like, in middle school and high school can be so tough. And like, sometimes the weird theater kids aren't necessarily the cool kids. And there's like bullying that comes along with that. And certainly did come along for me. And, but I really just knew it was what I was passionate about. And I was lucky enough that I found my community within the performing arts. And I grew up in Georgia, and the High School Musical theater community there is just like insane and amazing, and everyone's super supportive and passionate about it. And so I feel really lucky that I was able to like do some amazing shows and get such an amazing education and go on to study it in college. And like, it's really shaped who I am today, and I still love it just as much. And I'm like so blessed and grateful to be able to do it professionally. And like, and it's just like, I can't even talk about it because I'm like, I get emo, but so anyway.
Yeah, same. I think if I didn't have performing arts, it helped me know how to make friends. I grew up as like an only kid in the house, so I didn't have like those sibling social skills that you get, just like sharing or not being weird in a room. Help me find my tribe and learn to like express myself in healthy ways. And I don't think I knew that there was nothing else. First I wanted to be a fire truck, and then after that I wanted to be a performer. So
you still can be a fire truck.
I
could. A performer.
Best
of both worlds.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Take some like Meisner classes. Yeah, put on that fire truck.
Oh my God.
I think the only
advice. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that part of the question. It's hard. It is hard.
Yeah.
We will say that. Like, I think
Mhm.
it's really hard. And if you know you're passionate about it and you want to do it, I say take as many classes as you can. Learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
And also whether that be like writing scripts and maybe if your friend writes a script, get together and read it out loud for the first time. I always told myself, I'm like, I want to say yes to doing everything because you never know what opportunity will come next from saying yes to something and just getting more experience performing. I think it's just so valuable to always yes and for sure.
Absolutely. I think the thing that it helped me, I struggled as an actor just trying to figure out how to, I mean, it's easy, especially I think in musical theater, just paint by numbers when you're first starting out and just be like beep boop beep boop. But how do you like make a real character? And I think that the thing that helped me actually was like going and volunteering places because I think, well, for me, like acting or what we do is like it's also anthropology. You're trying to be a real person. And so getting to know more people and experiencing circumstances outside of your own small bubble. And that also includes like making friends who are like, when you're ready, you know, it's hard when you're a kid, but as you get older, you can kind of start making friends that don't do what you do. And I think that's really important because it gives you perspective, but also you know how the rest of the world works or how other people view the world. And I think that enriches you as an actor and as a performer too, because you have a lot more sensibilities in your bag to pull from.
Absolutely. And I'll say one more thing too. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got, Brent Wagner at the University of Michigan always said, you can't move forward while looking sideways. And it's so easy in this industry, I think, to compare.
Oh yeah.
In the industry and just in like community theater growing up. And it's a tough job that we have to do. And I will say it's like everyone is going to have their own journey and just focus on your journey and what you are doing and bettering you as a person and a performer. And you can't move forward while you're looking sideways. So
that's a word,
right?
Like, that's like biblical.
I still tell myself that because it's tough, dude. It's really tough out here sometimes. So yeah. Okay. What's the best deal you ever got at the TKTS booth? Whoa. I don't even know.
I think the best deal I got when I first came to New York the first time before I actually moved here, I came with an ex-boyfriend and we stood in line for Rock of Ages. And I think we got really good seats for like $40.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good deal.
That was a real good
deal. I can't remember a specific one. I know when I was younger, my mom was a rock star, and she would go stand in line and wait, like get up early from the hotel room and go stand in line. And I'm sure I know we got great tickets to see Wicked when I was young.
Oh, that's like for a full circle.
I know, because I was obsessed with it as a kid, and she got us tickets, I think, like they were all separate. And so we could be as close to the stage as possible. So like I sat by myself, she sat by herself, my sister sat somewhere. And so I'm pretty sure we got a pretty good deal on those tickets. Yeah. And thank goodness we did.
Thank goodness that TKTS exists because it does make theater really accessible for families and kids and stuff who might not otherwise be able to see shows and get some enrichment.
Absolutely. Shout out TKTS. What else we got? Oh, last question. Be each other's casting directors. What role would you put the other in?
Well, I think you can do anything. I don't think you're limited by there. You know, people can be typecasted, but I literally think you can do anything. You could be a villain. You could be a hero. You can be anything. You're
Thanks, dude. I say the same thing about you. I think you're just so freaking good and you can do anything. You have the range. You do. But I'm trying to think like something fun, like specific. Yeah. I don't know. Did you ever? Let me think. I can't look at you while I do it.
Okay.
I don't even know. What about like, I'm trying to think of like,
I think if I casted you, I think the first thing that I think of maybe is like a really cool action hero movie, but it's like Tim Burton directed. Like it's like avant-garde or
That's
a little dark.
I want to do something dark. I feel like I do a lot of comedy and I love that and that's my favorite thing to do, but I would love to do something a little spooky. That would be fun.
Like the Batman, I think he directed like 2 or 3 Batmans, and like that the one that had like Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey. I could just see you being in that world.
That's cool. Do you know what I would love to see you do that I just thought about? If they ever did like American Idiot, if you would be such a cool Saint Jimmy.
Thank you.
It would be like I was just thinking like because your voice is just like you can really just I almost said a bad word freaking wail and like to hear you like sing the kind of that rock like score would be kind of cool and you would be fierce.
Thank you.
That just was so random, but that just popped into my head for some reason.
I love it.
You can do anything. You really can. You really can.
And we didn't pay each other to say that.
No. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. Please come and see The Heart of Rock and Roll at the James Earl Jones Theater. We promise you we'll have a blast and come say hey to us.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.